Okay. So I want to try something. And I don't know how well this is going to work out, what kind of backlash I'll receive, or if it's actually going to be good for me or anyone. But I want to talk about mental illness, okay? And when I say mental illness, I'm meaning depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, just bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. Those chemical imbalances that we sometimes unfortunately struggle with. Now, I don't think it's fair for me to be able to talk to people about their health. Sorry, my dog's kicking me. Talk to people about their health and their recovery without at least sharing mine. So I was clinically diagnosed with depression at the age of 12 years old. And I dealt with it most of my life without medication. And as I got older, as in my late teens and early 20s, it got worse. You know, that's when we started growing up and having to deal with adult life. You know, you're getting jobs, you're dealing with bills, you're dealing with relationships, you're dealing with life. So, I'm going to tell you my story and in hopes be able to talk to others about their stories. I started cutting at a young age. I started as well when I was 12 years old when the depression started. And that as well escalated as I got older, as I turned into a teenager. I dealt with a lot of backlash for that in school. And a lot of people, you know, thought I was a freak. They thought, you know, I was weird. So be it. And one point right now is if you're dealing with that as a high schooler or a child or just in school in general and college, don't let that affect you. That changes. Those people won't be in your life forever. And you need to know that whatever their cause of humiliating you, that's not your fault. That's an out for them. So don't break your back bending over for these people who want you to change because they think that you're weird or you're different, because yes, you are different, but you're not what they need to be. You're not what they want you to be. You're you. Anyways, I got my worst probably about 19 to 20 years old. I had dealt with bad breakups. I had dealt with moving away from home when I was 17. And it's not because I was dumb. I was smart. I graduated a year early. I went to EMT school as soon as I did. But the choices I made were irrational due to me not knowing how to cope with my issues. The first time I was hospitalized, I was 13. I spent my 13th birthday in a mental facility for children. And that changed me, but in a worse way. I unfortunately learned different ways of harming myself. And I was pulled out of that hospital by my parents because they knew that that was not the right place for me. I can tell you that even though my coping mechanism was a terrible one and a terrible choice, it haunts me to this day that I still have to deal with it. I still have to see myself and my scars and know that I didn't love myself enough, that I hurt my own body. I got married in 2018 to the man of my dreams. Someone who supported the fact that I dealt with mental illnesses. I was diagnosed at that time with bipolar disorder, severe anxiety, and severe depression. And recently have been hospitalized twice for related issues that don't think we need to go into too far. Getting out now and being out, I've learned my support system. I've learned my tells. I've learned when I start feeling a certain way where that might lead me. I've learned how to cope with some of these difficulties in much better ways. And one of these coping skills is to now try to reach out to that community that is struggling with the same problems. And when I say the same, I don't mean my exact issues. I mean the same as struggling with your own mental illness, your own unhealthy coping mechanisms, your own struggles. I want to be able to be a voice for those who don't think that there's anything left for them. And knowing that I've walked in those shoes, I feel that I can help. I haven't dealt with what every single person going through something has. We've all dealt with different things. But having that support is your number one step to recovery. So, my vow is to answer questions, offer advice, offer resources for those questions that I'm not qualified to answer, and listen. Listen to when you feel that there's nothing else left. I do have some experience with trauma as a child, self-harm, and suicide attempts. And while I'm not proud of any of those things, they've made me who I am today. And that is a strong person who fights daily to live my best life and to be able to be that functioning person with this illness. I do urge anyone watching this video to, of course, like, share, subscribe, do whatever you're going to do with it. But most importantly, if you've noticed either a friend or a family member, a colleague, just someone that you know, I urge you to share this video with them. My number one request is, if you know that somebody is struggling with thoughts of self-harm or suicide, that you reach out immediately. There is a national suicide hotline that I will put the number in the description. They are there to listen. Nothing is worth taking your own life. And I've learned this. Nothing is worth putting the world before your own self. You can be selfless and selfish at the same time. And I urge you to understand that you're not alone with these difficulties. If you have any questions or anything that you would like to add or discuss on my next video, leave me a comment, send me a private message. If there's things that you want to discuss that's not in a public video, then, let me know that it's in confidence. I work in the medical field, so I understand HIPAA, and as far as that, I do kind of want to go along those same guidelines of protecting anyone's confidentiality if that's the case. If you have a story that you want out there, let me know, and we'll get it out. We'll get all of our peers to hear it, to listen, to be there for you. So, this is me putting myself out here for you. I hope you can take what I'm saying and what I'm offering and reach out.